Hey everyone, welcome to the Anderson Bros Outdoors. I'm Jake, and today we're going to take an old first-gen Phoenix RTR that's tired and worn, and we're going to give it an overhaul, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back. As I said, we're going to take this old tired Phoenix, and we're going to give it a new body, and we're going to give it one of these beds here. Let's dive right on in. There we have it. This is one of the first Phoenix RTRs that was released. I had saved this in stock form to do comparison videos and things of that nature. So basically taking a stock Phoenix and comparing it against other manufacturers or even other Vanquish vehicles. So we are going to retire this truck from that. We haven't really used it for that in over a year at this point. So we're going to do a little something with it. Now you can see that this body has seen some things. It's pretty much in need of replacement or retirement at this point. So we're going to leave that body off and we're going to replace it with this Fordyce body that you saw. So this body here. Slide that on there. It's no longer going to be a Phoenix, it's going to be a Fordyce. I don't know if that sounds good. Maybe a Fordyce? That doesn't sound good either. So I'm not sure what we're going to call this, but it's no longer a Phoenix. It is going to be a VS410 Fordyce. Now, I don't actually have a Fordyce truck. I really kind of like this front grille over the Phoenix grille because it covers the whole front end here. Just personal preference, I suppose. Now, the primary reason we're making the upgrades on this truck is because I didn't know until the other day, but RC4WD Drive makes a VS410 rear cage bed for, you guessed it, the VS410 platform. So the Phoenix or the Fordyce. Now we know that the Fordyce is going to be discontinued by Vanquish, so the Phoenix kit and the Phoenix RTR are still going to be around. As far as I know. So basically this is still going to be an option for everyone. Let's see what it looks like here. Plenty of paper. Oh wow. So I think that this is actually real wood here on the bed itself. That's really cool. It has a spare tire carrier. Let's see if we can throw a little something in there. It is metal. Before I start pulling this apart here, we're going to get a weight on this. It appears to be 1.49, basically 1.5 pounds, which is a little lighter than I had anticipated. I thought it was going to be a little bit heavier than that. But yeah, so we got this because I've said before I really like metal stuff better than plastic, and I wanted to get this and see what it was all about. Now, it looks like we are missing some things here, some lights and maybe some other stuff, a receiver. But there is this bag of goodies that looks like that's what that is. Lights and other things. So, I don't actually have the lights for this because I didn't know it came with them or needed them. So we're going to have to go and acquire those and do an update video. All of the plastic on here, so this is plastic, these are plastic. The wing nut here is plastic. It looks like these are all injection molded or printed. It's really weird. I don't know. Kind of a painful thing to do there, huh? There we go. There we go. We finally got a wheel in there. That looks kind of good. It's definitely interesting. The screw is not long enough. I think I have a pretty long hub on this wheel, so with the wheel on there, I think this has got brass in it. It is ultra heavy. Doesn't really go, the screw doesn't really go up high enough to, yeah, see, this is a 12 mil hub. With a shorter hub, it should be fine. But this looks to be easily removable. The details really shine through here. I mean, you can see the CCHand engraved in the wood. You can see the actual wood on the bottom. I don't know how long. It doesn't really look treated on the bottom, only on the top. I don't know how long that's going to last. Let's, there weren't any instructions with it. I assume it's pretty straightforward. It just sits on the back just like that. And it screws to the chassis. It does appear to screw through the rear bumper holes and then the front shock tower hole. So you can actually move this shock tower forward. So if you're running a shorter wheelbase, so for example, if I was going to run a Mojave body or a Tamiya F350 body, I would need to move the shock tower forward and shorten the wheelbase. But let's go ahead and I'm not going to mount that up just yet. We are, however, going to see how it mounts to this guy here. Alright, so I did look at the directions slightly on the internet because it obviously doesn't come with any directions. And we have to do a couple of things here. Obviously we've got to remove this rear bedside, so we're going to do that really quick like. Just like that, the rear cage is removed. Now there should be some parts and pieces in here. Again, they look printed. Anyway, these are supposed to go, I'm not 100% sure. Directions are kind of hazy here. So we're going to slide this on just like such. And then you can see how this should go together here. Oh, that looks really good. Yeah, look at that. That looks fantastic. I mean, it's just missing a little bit of a roof rack there, and we're in business. All right, so these are supposed to go here like this. So these screw into these holes, and then we're supposed to drill another hole up here, is what the directions say. Now this is obviously made for a Phoenix, so this Fordyce body might have to drill into the window. It is unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. So the nice thing though is we won't have to cut the back of the bed out, because if you look at the difference between the two bodies, the Phoenix has this rear tab sticking out, and we will be getting rid of that tab. So the Fordyce doesn't have it. Otherwise you would have to cut the tab off. So for this piece, we're going to self-tapping screw in the top, take these two screws out of the bottom. We're going to simply put it through where it was before and screw it into the bottom hole, or the hole closest to the nub on the body, on the new body pin post holder thingy. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much, and we don't really want to strip it out, so we're going to do the rest by hand. The kit did come with the additional hardware needed, so we're going to pull that out. Next thing we're going to do is take these 3x10s, the M3x10s that come with the hardware, and we're going to screw them through the old body posts. Kit also came with these M3 nuts. We're going to put some Loctite on there and screw it on. I'm not going to put Loctite on there right now. I will probably go back after the video and do it. I want to make sure everything is good before I do that. But it is a good practice to Loctite metal into metal without the nylock. Next, we are going to drill the holes for the cab, and then we will use these 8mm screws to screw them in from this way. But first we're going to mount it on there. Actually, the next thing we're going to do is mount the bed itself to prevent it from moving, so we can get the body holes lined up and we're not drilling unnecessary holes. So for this we're going to need a 2.5mm driver. Alright, so we're going to need to remove this rear bumper piece. Let's do that really quickly. These two set screws back here, pull the bumper out, and we should be good to go. Just like that. Alright, so the stock location for the screw is right here. We're simply going to remove it and screw it in right here, because this is where the bed is mounting. Now we're going to do the other side. It'll be really nice when it's not so cold and I can use my other shop. So we're going to remove this screw, put it in the tab, screw it in, and we are done. It was as easy to mount the bed as that. One of the really cool things about this bed is it actually allows you to still run the dig unit. I will probably install overdrive and dig into this at some point in the near future, but probably not on this video. The nice thing is that we still have the ability to run both if we want. And now the next item is going to be to get the body mounted just like that to where it is positioned. And that sits so good. It just fits right down on there. Just looks fantastic. What we're going to do now that we have everything lined up how we want, we're going to take the drill and we're simply going to use a 1/16 bit and we're going to run it in reverse. Well, we're not going to do that, unfortunately. We were able to screw these screws in. Obviously, I wasn't recording for that, so I apologize. All we had to do was take a driver handle with the drill bit, go in from the back, poke the hole. Once the hole was there in the body, we were able to screw the screw through the body into the mount. That is a 6 or 8 mil screw that comes with the kit. The next thing that we're going to do is put together the lights. We're going to put the back on first. I don't have any lights for this, but I am going to order some. I think I'm going to order some of the other accessories for it as well. I don't know how well some of them will fit on the Fordyce. I know that they'll fit the Phoenix. Now the kit was supposed to come with some M2 by 6mm screws for this, but I don't actually have them. So the kit I got didn't actually come with M2 screws like it was supposed to, but these little tiny M2 wheel, beadlock wheel, ring screws seem to work just fine, so we're going to use these for now. Obviously I don't have any lights for these. I'm going to get some lights for them. Now the final piece to the puzzle is we're going to install these brake light housings. I honestly don't know if I have a screwdriver small enough to do it. They are tiny little Phillips screws, so we're about to find out. That's nice. They don't actually screw in there. They just go right on in the hole. So we're not going to put the tail light lenses on. That's a very large disappointment. For the price of this body, I believe it was $180-ish range. I'll tell you exactly how much it was. The MSRP for this bed is $218.94. Now, the sale price on it is $178. For $178, I would expect there to be hardware that works for the lights. I mean, that's the cheapest thing on here, and it just doesn't work. So we're pretty much done with the installation here. And as you can see, it looks really good. Aside from the obvious hiccups with the tail lights, the rest of the installation went very smooth, was very easy. Again, this bed is made for a Phoenix. This is not a Phoenix, this is a Fordyce. And it still works. It's not going to fit it exactly like the Phoenix, but it still fits very nicely. Like it'll still cover the top. If you were to do a rollover, it still covers the sides, things of that nature. So all in all, pretty happy with the install process. The next thing we need to do is get it out on the trail. Let's take it out and let's run it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here it is outside. It's obviously not the best day to be doing this, but we're going to make it happen anyway. It's a little doomy, a little gloomy. This brushed. Oh no. The old brush motor needs to be replaced. We need to get a little... Try and stay out of the mud for the most part. Man, that is just extremely vertical there. Oh, I knew that was coming. This is definitely no comp crawler. Was never advertised or stated to be as such, so it's definitely very capable still. Doesn't negate the fact that we need a brushless motor. This brushed is just not happy. I'm gonna stay out of this mud and snow here and see if we can keep it on the rocks. We will possibly want to increase the spring rate on the rear. I did some, but Doesn't look like it is enough. The bed and spare tire back there is pretty heavy. No! We did save it. If you didn't notice, I did put some gold wheels on it because I thought that looked a lot better than the all black ones. Kind of matches the blue. These wheels had these KLR V2s made by Voodoo on them already. Not a huge fan of the tires personally, especially cold weather apparently. It is getting so close to tipping, but it's not. It's actually pretty impressive. There we go. Needed that momentum. There we go, that's what we wanted. I'll have to use some of that momentum to get up this. There we go. It is pretty heavy. Now obviously this truck started its life as a Phoenix, which is why it's got crazy overdrive in the front right now. I will likely undo that in the very near future. But let's see what it looks like on some trails. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, all freshly washed and ready to go back on the shelf. This has been a really fun build. Overall, I'm happy with how the bed turned out. Unfortunately, the hardware for the taillights wasn't really there, so kind of a ding on RC4 wheel drive on that, but it looks good, even wet from being washed off. I would actually recommend this setup now. It is going to add quite a bit of weight to the rear, so be prepared for that. As you can see by the footage, it's not going to be a line killer by any means, but it'll be a fun trail truck, and it'll get the job done. With that being said, we really appreciate you making it this far. Huge shout out to the TABO club members, and as always, we hope you have a great day.